is up, everybody? So, apologize. I'm making do with my current situation, which was I was displaced from my apartment in New York City. So, and my office building is still closed. So, I've set up a makeshift podcast studio here in the apartment I'm currently in. So, I want to bring this to you. I think it's really important, and I appreciate you guys stay with me while we try to bring this to you. I don't want to stop doing it. I think it's important. I also think there's a lesson in doing it. I think a lot of us can make excuses for our surroundings, for our circumstances, how we've been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The bottom line is the world is not going to stop. We need to keep progressing, and we have to make do in some cases differently than we used to. But what I want to talk to you about is how to figure out what your bottom line is. And by bottom line is, what is it costing you per job to do your work, to stay in business, to execute the jobs. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with one job. One job is $1,000. Again, this is a made-up number. This is what you're charging your client. What I want you now to do, though, is make a list, literally, of every single expense that you're going to have to produce that $1,000 job. So the first one is labor. What does your labor cost you? Your second one is rent. What does your rent cost you? Your third one, utilities. Right? We got to keep the lights on. And again, guys, this is something, this is a great practice. I want you to do this, especially right now. After you see me do it, I want you to go through your business, line item each of your expenses. There is no better time like the present to figure out what it is costing you to operate your business. Once you have this in a clear picture, you can now pivot, and going back to the other few podcasts that we've just released, you can now make actionable steps, take actionable steps to cut your overhead. You can figure out ways now, once you see this number, to figure out what it is costing you to execute each of these jobs. And again, as small businesses, a lot of us don't know this. A lot of us, big businesses, know to the penny what it costs. Amazon knows to a penny what it costs to ship a package. A lot of the time, as small businesses, we don't know what this number is going to be. So after utilities, if we are in a business that needs to produce a durable good, okay? So if you're in the restaurant business, you're producing food, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So now, you've taken $1,000. How do we figure out what rent portion goes into that $1,000? Really simple. Your monthly rent is $5,000. If your average cost of a job is $1,000 and you do 10 jobs a month, you take that 10 jobs per month, you divide it by 5,000, you are left with $500. That is your cost of your rent that goes into that, right? So for rent, we're going to add in $500 right here. One item above that, your labor. What does it cost you for that $1,000 in labor to produce that $1,000 job? Okay, so for me, I'm going to use $200 here. Utilities. And for utilities, we're going to add in insurance, right? What does it cost to bare bones? Electric, gas. If you have a space, what are you paying into that? Your internet, cell phone bill. All of these things are going to get included into that number. If that number comes out to $150, right? And then now, if we have a durable good that you need to produce, what is that durable good? For me, it could be an album. For you, it could be, if you're in the restaurant industry, your food cost, right? Again, let's say that durable good is $150, right? So now what are we left with here? 200, 500 is 700, 850 is $1,000. Guys, you know what's happening here? In essence, we're robbing Peter to pay Paul, okay? This is an equation that I talk to so many business owners. They're bringing in $1,000. It's costing them $1,000 to produce the job. In essence, they're losing money on every single job that they're putting out. Okay, that is in and of itself a major issue that we're faced with right now. Many people don't know what this is, right? We think we operate on 30 or 40%, but if you don't have these numbers listed out, it's impossible to know what your bottom line is. So in essence, if this is your setup, you're literally owning a business and working for free. As a matter of fact, you're losing money because guess what, guys? We left out miscellaneous, right? Again, we don't know what our miscellaneous is, right? So you're going to lose money because guess what? Within this right here, there's more expenses that are popping up that you don't know about, okay? Bet you have your Netflix or something else. Now you have a credit card that's paying for this with that, right? And then now all of a sudden, let's say you have your Netflix going through your business, that's minus $15 a month. Now you're at a negative, okay? So potentially, if you don't know these numbers, you literally could be losing money every single time you go out to work. What you need to do is immediately take a big giant piece of paper, write down every single expense. Once you have that whole number, right? Let's say that whole number, every single expense is $100,000. Every single expense is $100,000. You total up what your entire business is doing. Now, if you divide that by the number of jobs that you're doing, let's call it 100. Costs you $1,000 to do each job, which is what we just came to before. If it's costing you $1,000 and you are charging $1,000, my friends, you are losing money on every single job that you do. That is not a business, okay? You'd be better off going and getting a job, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but at least if you go get a job at Starbucks, they're giving you a 401k, stock options, medical, all those things. With this, you're not getting that. You'll have a better quality of life most likely too, and you'll actually be making money and not giving up so much that entrepreneurs do. And I don't say this to be negative, I say it to be realistic. I literally want people to make it through this. And the only way you can do that is by doing two things, what we discussed before, which is really cutting down your costs. But in order to know how much you need to cut, you need to figure out what this number is, okay? And let me tell you, sometimes it's not going to be a pleasant process, okay? Sometimes realizing what is going on in your business is painful. But guess what? There is a beauty in that pain, because once you figure out what it is costing you to operate your business, now you can pivot. Now you can make a plan with actionable steps behind it, and then you can move forward on, okay? There's no easy way around this. This is something, an activity, a task you absolutely need to do. It needs to become, my opinion, the forefront of your priority over the next week. Figure out what this number is. If I can help you in any way, please feel free to reach out to me. I actually love this stuff. It's a passion of mine. Business is my hobby. It's my life. It's something I've been doing since I was basically 16 years old. So for 25 years, this is what I do. It's what I've dedicated my life to. Again, all I want to do is see small business owners survive. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them prosper. It's infuriating me what's going on in this country right now. And again, this is my way of giving back. So I hope this brings value to you guys. Thank you so much, and I will be with you soon.